Well, I would say that in our pop-up community, we are generating a very high quality and a very high quotient of ideas per square foot. I found myself absolutely inspired by the conversations and the insights from this morning, challenged by them, which I think is a good thing as well, and excited by the opportunity to take some of these ideas and see if we can't put them into action. So let's move on to the next conversation. This panel, which is on sustaining innovation, holistic ecologies, this is about a discussion that involves the whole person. Because in order to create a sustainable and a sustaining innovation ecology, you need to deal with the whole person. And the models that we're going to explore here are two. One is a project that I had the good fortune to visit 2.5 years ago, 22 at Barcelona. We have the CEO from 22 at Barcelona, Josep Piqué, here to share with us his insights. He has a very, very interesting background in academia and also in business, and specifically in innovation ecologies and ecosystems. And the first time I heard the term innovation ecology was from Josep when we visited 2.5 years ago. My first meeting with him coincided with my first meeting with the gentleman to his right, Pete Garcia. Pete and I had a conversation about 2.5 years ago, sharing our mutual passion for doing something that could potentially be transformational in San Diego. And here we are now in this forum talking about Idea District as if it's a certainty and that it's going to happen, which of course is enormously exciting. I encourage you also to look at Pete's biography because he really embodies the left brain and the right brain thinking that I think is so critical to innovation. He is a very successful businessman. He is an artist. And oh, by the way, if I didn't tell you that he's exhibiting tonight in booth P11, he would slap my hand. So you've now been informed that he is exhibiting in P11. Go see it. He's also a screenwriter. He is a novelist. He really has extraordinary breadth of experience. And all of those skills and talents are being brought to bear in helping to think through the potential for Idea District to be a truly sustaining innovation ecology. So I'm going to bring Josep up. He's going to tell you about the successes and the challenges of 22 at Barcelona over the last 12 years. Josep Piqué.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity to be with you today here in San Diego. I was enjoying yesterday and today very much what you are debating. I think that your level of discussion is very high. You are in a very good way. And really, the idea of the Idea District is a very wonderful concept that I feel that you are in a very good way. Let me check. How many of you were visiting Barcelona the last 10 years? Good. Thank you. It means that I can explain to you things, but you were visiting and you were enjoying our city. Let me tell you that the presentation that we are working today is, I will introduce what we were doing at 22 Watt, but I am coming from the academia. I was trying to take advantage of some theories. You know that you want to be practical, you need theories. And that's the things that I want to start. In one hand, thinking in the framework, let me tell you that when we talk about cities, if you think as an urbanism, we think that we have to deliver different services: water, energy, waste, mobility, information, and until now they were silos. They were working in vertical activities. I was enjoying a lot the Mr. Ware presentation. Let me tell you that Mr. Ware, I was in meeting today in the bus. It means that we were sharing a lot of concepts, but he's in the right direction when he's talking about that something is happening when we have the IT crossing all the vertical services. We know that we are coming from the first revolution of the internet, was the digitalization of the things, of what I mean, the music, videos, and so on. We are now just in deep in the digitalization of the relationships, Facebook, Twitter, and so on. And we are just now starting the Internet of the Things. It means that the things will have sense. And we have, if we know what is happening in the city, we can improve and we can deliver better services to our citizens. But the good thing is that we have the opportunity to develop a backbone of telecommunications and connecting the different services in order to provide the better services for every single citizen. This is about smart cities. This is about hard factors. This is about how can I build my city developing the best infrastructures. But in another hand, we know that we're connecting the knowledge-based economy. We're connecting science, technology, industry, and market. We know that the last century, we were creating ecologies of innovation, ecologies providing logistics for the traditional industrial things, the traditional industrial activities. We know now that the knowledge-based industrial activities needs a special raw material. The raw material is the talent. It means what kind of knowledge infrastructures we have to create in our cities in order to be a platform for this talent. Because we know that if we were competing in the all industries, we have to create logistics, port, airports, and so on. That's good. But for the talent, it's not enough. This is important because locations are important for talent, because talent is looking for the best place for living and working. Let me tell you also that something is happening in the universities. We know that it's important to work in the relationship with public-private, the relation of the government and the industry. But the more important thing is the new role of the university, understanding that it's more than education and research. It's education, research, and knowledge to use. And more than that, what Henry Etzkovitz was talking about when he was talking about triple helix, he was talking about hybrid organizations. We have to connect the long-term vision of the university with the mandate vision of the politicians with the short-term vision of the companies, because the companies, they have to pay salaries at the end of the month. The politicians, they have to be in front of the citizens every 4 or 5 years, and the universities has to be in front of the edge of the science and the technology. It means that we know that we have in the universities science and technology, so sometimes not connected with the industry and sometimes not connected with the local market. This is very interesting. You have here in UC San Diego the best technology, the best science, and sometimes is very good because they are competing in the science networks, but they are not providing this technology for the competition of the industry or for the competitiveness of the industry. In this way, what we feel is that nothing is local, all is global. And we must be, the cities, global platforms for global citizens. And the challenge is, how can we connect our platforms to another cities, to another countries? Because the more important thing is that we're connecting science, global science. We know what means technology. We can scale technology very fast to the world. We know that the more important thing to the industry is to export, to scale the solutions. But on the other hand, we have to provide the market, the local market, as a global competitive advantage. And let me focus in this point. Because when we connect science, technology, industry, and market, if we can offer our city as a lab, if we can offer our place as a place of learning local in order to compete global, we are providing an ecology of innovation that is providing a place for learning. I will focus later in this idea. But the more important thing is that we are global platforms for global citizens, and we have to be sure that we're connecting our cities to another cities in the world. Because what we see is that something is happening in the big corporations when they see that the innovation is out of the walls of the organization. They need to be in connection with fresh innovation. They need to be open to new possibilities, to new entrepreneurs. And the more important thing is the city, the platform, to offer open innovation? Because if we are connecting big corporations with new corporations, we are connecting fresh people with big corporations that are really big escalators. Let me focus in this slide that is trying to explain that the ecology of innovation, we need both sides. Big corporations like elevators, like big corporations that are absorbing innovation, but on the other hand, we need in the first floor innovators, new entrepreneurs, people that is providing new concepts, and the big corporations are absorbing these new ideas. The challenge is, we know that the big corporations are absorbing these new ideas, but we have to be sure that we are promoting our talent in our ecology of innovation to connect these new ideas with these big corporations. For this reason, it's very important not to work in one by one company. It's important to work, what we're saying, in a value chain. It's important to work in a cluster strategy, connecting research centers, technological centers, big corporations, new entrepreneurs, incubators, and all about this value chain. If we know that we are creating a cluster, the challenge is how can we put this cluster inside the city? Because we know that the city is a platform for the talent, but we need to connect all these areas in the cities and as a urban clusters, as a place for connecting companies and technology, but also as a place for offering to the talent the best place for working and living. This slide is coming from Silicon Valley. It's from Papa Monroe, a professor from UC Berkeley, and I was very surprised when he was explaining to me, this is the College of Innovation, research universities, entrepreneurs, angels, investors, and so on, and he was talking about good food, wine, and coffee. And I told him, Tapan, what are you talking about? We're talking about the College of Innovation, and you're talking about wine? It's about stimulation, or it's about quality of life? And we were debating during these 2 days about that. It's about what kind of city I am living and I am working. Not I am living alone. I am living with my family. I am growing with my family. And I am looking for the best place for balancing both sides. And I agree with the concept that you were debating, because the last century, the industries were looking for the best place for the locations, the source of the energy, the source of the raw material. Now the companies are looking for the best place for the talent, where the talent is living and they want to work. Let me tell you that Richard Florida, I agree a lot with Richard Florida, but he's talking only about the 3% of the population of the world, the flight class. When we were thinking about that in Barcelona, we were happy to think that it's interesting to attract people, but what about the 97% of my population? How can I stimulate them? How can I offer them social elevators? Because if not, two things. I am losing opportunities to take advantage of my talent, and also I am not connecting the reality of the global economy with the local economy. That's the reason, because we believe in a management of the talent. The cities has to manage the talent. And managing the talent, it's in one hand to attract talent, that's right. And who are the magnets of the talent? Academical, UC San Diego is the perfect, or UC San Diego or another universities as a magnet. Stanford is a magnet. Berkeley is a magnet. Business schools in Barcelona, another. It's important because they are very good magnet. Also, industries are magnet. But on the other hand, it's the creation of talent. But creation of talent is not only about opportunities. I believe that we are delivering in the countries like USA or in Barcelona, the opportunity for every children to be educated. But it's not about opportunity, it's about aspiration, what they want to be in the future. If they don't have the DNA of the knowledge-based economy, they will be out of this society. And the DNA of the knowledge-based economy is knowledge-based, it's entrepreneurial, and it's global. if we are not creating this new generation of talent in connection with the knowledge-based economy, these people will not be in the society. And we will have the division, and we have all the tensions that you know. But also, we have to combine attraction, creation, and retention. And believe me that retention is something that we have a lot of efforts taking advantage of international people that is flying to here or to Barcelona. They are doing an MBA, and they are leaving the city with no effort. And they were enjoying, and they were living during 1 year in our city, and we're losing opportunities. That's the reason, because we are working a lot the international communities as a place for connecting the international, the Italian people, the British people, the French people with different communities. It means that we are connecting these people with more roots in our reality, more than strictly the academical or the professional. If we combine attraction, retention, also creation and development, development means the opportunity to be sure that we are creating the profiles of the people that we need for our society and our industry. This is the framework. Let's go to Barcelona. Are you ready? Let's go to fly. Where is Barcelona? You know, we are in Europe. If you visit Barcelona, you see a diagonal crossing the city. Let me tell you that this diagonal was planned 150 years ago for a urban planner, Sardà, and was thinking in a big Barcelona. Barcelona was an old city, and we had several cities around Barcelona. And we were planning, and during 150 years, we were developing this urban plan. This is good, to see a long-term vision and to share and to respect this plan. And Barcelona, during the last century, was a wonderful place for the textile industry. You could see and you could remember perhaps that we were talking about the Catalan Manchester. A lot of people were traveling to London, to UK, and we were developing a lot of textile. It was wonderful. The history is wonderful. But the history is wonderful for the museums because something has happened. Change the logistics, change the economy. The companies were looking for another places out of the city, pollutions, and so on. And what can you do with that? This is worse than a desert. Desert, what I mean is in the middle of the desert. Because this is things that you are not wishing, activities that you are not planning. And a policy could be to do nothing. And let me tell you, I am here, but I am coming from Barcelona. One kind of policy is to do nothing. And what happens when to do nothing? That nothing is that no markets, no society, no economy, nothing. We decided in that moment to first taking advantage of some key moments, like 1992, the Olympics. We were, you know, we were opening Barcelona to the sea, to the Mediterranean Sea. But also, we were planning in this 100, it's about 4 million square meters, is 200 hectares, 100 blocks in the city. We were planning to preserve the industrial activities. It was not the way to work, because the more traditional way is, let's go to invite the people for living in the city and to work out of the city. This is the traditional way. And believe me, in the last 10, 12 years, we could change all this industrial land for housing, and we were selling all the houses. But where the people were working. And more than that, if the city, thank you, Weber, Alan Weber, for the concept of platform. If the city is a platform of the talent, the city is the right place to be the talent. And this talent is looking for a place for working and living. And the decision was, let's go to preserve the industrial activities, but now thinking in knowledge-based industrial activities. What kind of activities? Activities that are combining the science, the technology industry, and the market. Let me understand what levels we were working. One hand was the hard factors, what we say the smart city, all the infrastructures inside the city. The second was the knowledge economy, and the third one, the social, the knowledge society or the social dimension. The more interesting thing, and this is the concept of this roundtable, is that we were developing an holistic approach, because the same hard factor is supporting a place for working and living. The same street is for a professional, for a student, for an investor that is changing as a citizen during the night. It means that we have to be sure that we're using the same platform for different activities. And more than that, developing hard factors, infrastructures, smart city and so on, and soft factors in order to put inside companies and people. The concept of 22@ is a concept that what we say is a compact city. It's a place for living and working. In one hand, for working, we were inviting the science and technology to be in the district. We were inviting universities, technological centers to be part of this party. Because without externalities, the companies cannot compete better. They can share labs, they can share technology, they can work together if they are closer, because the students can cross very fast the street and can really share technology, labs, and so on. The second one about infrastructures was important, not just the green infrastructures, I will explain to you in deep, but it's also about the mobility plan. But remember, the best mobility is the no mobility. The no mobility means that if I am working in a walking distance, I am living in a walking distance, or I am working in the cloud, it means that I'm reducing the mobility. Also, in terms of housing, and I was very happy to listen here, how are you thinking about the inclusive growth? It was a transformation of a district where people were living before, but we are inviting them to be part of this party. And we were creating what we say social housing, in order to promote that they will take advantage of this transformation, and also that they will enjoy also the new quality of life. The last part is about also identity. Talent is looking for identity, is looking for the projection. And identity means that the city is also an identity. And you have to connect your identity, your values, with the values of your city. Let me go to the smart city concept. I go faster because I know that we have time, but not a lot. I invite all of you to visit 22@. But in any case, to be shorter, this is a 4 million square meter transformation. It's the bigger transformation in Europe inside a city. This is a transformation that the city is not the owner of the land, but the city has a key role. We can decide what we say the smart regulation. And we were explaining with high transparency the role of the new law in the land. We were inviting the privates, the owners, to increase the floor of the buildings, but we were asking them the 30% of the land for using this land for housing, for utilities, what we say the technological center and so on, and also green spaces. We didn't have enough green spaces. And also, let me tell you that we were inviting them to pay or co-finance the infrastructures of the streets, because the infrastructures were very, very important. Infrastructure means externalities also of the technologies. Let me show you what kind of infrastructures was the mobility plan. Also, all the telecom. Let me tell you that we were starting the telecom strategy with a special plan, and no any company wanted to invest in this area. No market. The city decided to be an operator, and we were deploying a fiber, dark fiber. And now we are renting the fiber to any private company. It's like we decided to create the highway, and now the cars are going down. But if the market is not running, who is going to be there? That's our position in this district. And also, the energy plan with some utilities, the waste collection. We're using the temperature of the sea in order to reduce the temperature of the buildings. It means that it's a district climate project. And also, we were creating underground galleries, not art galleries, underground streets under the streets, streets under the streets. The reason is because we were planning new projects and we were opening the opportunity for new innovation. But the more important thing is not just infrastructures that we need now, is to be ready for the new innovation, is to be ready for the new urban innovation. That's the reason because we are using 22@ as a district of innovation, but as a urban lab, as a place for learning. It's a place for any entrepreneur that want to check a product in the street of Barcelona. They can apply, and they are going to use this city, this street, as a lab. This is very important because it means the opportunity for learning for the city, how can we improve our services, but also it's a good service for the entrepreneurs and companies because they can learn local in order to scale and to compete global. That's the concept of Urban Lab. This is a process where we were inviting all the public servants, the people that is deciding what to buy, that before to buy, they have to learn. Before buying is learning. And learning means a deep process of absorbing new innovation. The concept of open innovation in cities is amazing. Believe me, the center of the economy this century will be the cities. But the 70% of the population are in the cities. The 80% of the population are in the cities. The center of the economy are the cities. But the cities can scale solutions to another city. And this is a new industry, the industry of the cities. That's the reason because we, the city is a platform. We as a city are an organization that can do innovation. And the public procurement is a good tool for promoting innovation. But also we're offering the city to the universities, to use the university as the university using the city as a lab. For the companies, the possibility to have a golden reference. Oh, who did you buy your product? San Diego. Oh, if San Diego is the first customer, it's easy to sell to another cities. It means that the public procurement is one of the key tools for promoting this golden reference and the scalability. But the more important thing, and following the Alan Weber proposal, the city challenge. What is the agenda of innovation of our city? What we need in 20 years, in 10 years? What is our homework? Because if we know where we go, it will be easy. If we don't know where we go, anyway, it will be fine. It's important because if we are creating an ecology of innovation and we can decide and define the challenge of the cities, could be perfect because we're sharing the vision of all the citizens and the companies. Let me go directly to the economic approach. The economic approach of the district is a cluster approach. We are connecting big corporations, new corporations, universities, technological centers, all of them in the same area. You can visit the media cluster where we are combining the research, Pompeu Fabra University with big corporations like Media Pro. Do you know the movie Vicky Cristina Barcelona? This movie was created here. Different elements. A cluster is a good tool, but the more important thing of the cluster is the governance of the cluster. It's a public-private partnership platform. And what we are is inviting the universities, the public administration, and the companies to be ready and to work together, sharing the vision and competing better in the world. The media cluster is one, the mobile and the IT cluster is another one. We are the Mobile World Capital, where we have Telefonica, several companies. You can see how are we mixing. I think when I see this map, I see Idea District, because you have the same size, this size in terms of 37 squares. You can create the future, but you don't have to wait. You have to work. And the good thing is that the same streets are for citizens, are for workers, are for students, and we're sharing the infrastructures for all of them. The cluster energy is another one. The health cluster is another one. And we are also now working in the design cluster, the non-innovation cluster, the non-technological cluster. It's a cluster that is working more in creativity and innovation. You know that we have the legacy of Picasso, Dali, and they remember us that we have to be very innovative in the activities. After 10, 11 years, what you will find in the district is 1,500 companies that were not existing before the transformation. The more important thing is that we were combining the new corporations with the big corporations. And you will find more than 40% of that companies that are new, were not existing. And companies like Indra, that they were starting with 300 jobs, and now they have 3,000 jobs. And more than that is the jobs. It's the jobs that we were creating during the last 10, 11 years were 44,600 jobs, knowledge jobs. More than the 60% of these jobs with high education, with university degrees. We were working in the concept of the public-private platform. Now we are stressing in the smart city strategy. We're developing a new part of the district focusing on that. Cisco is announcing now that Cisco is going to invest in the smart cities. And the reason, because Cisco chose Barcelona, it was not just the technology or the supercomputing center, was the capacity to learn. Because 22@, we were offering 22@ to Cisco to take advantage of the learning process and for the creation of new technologies for the urban solutions. Last part of my presentation is the social dimension. In one hand, to be sure that we are thinking in the professionals, the new citizens that are in the district. We are creating a lot of networks. Networks means commitment. Networks means to belongs to networks of professionals and international teams. But also, in order to be sure that we were inviting the district to be part of this party, we were connecting all the schools of the district to this project. And we were working in deep with programs like Crea Italian, that we were developing this DNA of 22@, this knowledge-based, entrepreneurial, and global. Last, homeworks. What we're doing now. Because we know that science, technology, industry, and market are running, but art and technology is a new dialogue, but art, technology, and business is a very new dialogue. And we're inviting the artists to be part of this transformation. And the artist means the capacity to develop disruptive innovation, very disruptive innovation in a new approach. And we are creating what we say the cultural factories, where we are offering this platform, cultural platform for artists to be in the district and to interact with us. Thank you very much, and that's time for answers.
Let me connect the dots for you. Why are two knuckleheads from San Diego sitting here with Josep? That's because 22 Barcelona is a world-class case study. What you saw here, the comprehensiveness of what they have done, the outcomes of the employments, the companies, is really what we hope to achieve in the next few years. When the Idea District, which I'll tell you a bit about in a minute, grows up, we want to be 22 at Barcelona. Why? Because it is about being globally competitive. When we started our research, we didn't go to the usual suspects, you know, San Francisco, New York. We went for a global search of who truly is doing what we believe is necessary to compete, and what it is a competition, a race for the talent. A talent which is a cohort of highly educated young people that the research shows it is the direct function of bringing prosperity to a city, to a country, or to a corporation. So we went globally seeking for best of class, and this to us is our example. So this has informed what we have envisioned for the Idea District. Now, the Idea District is 35 city blocks. By the way, there's a lot of similarities between Barcelona and San Diego, okay? We were a colony of Spain. If you've been to Barcelona, and a lot of you have been to Barcelona, The weather is similar. The lifestyle is similar. The size of the region is similar. We have a lot in common. The cities are about at the same age. So what we want to do, David and I, and we have a lot of collaborators. We have Oliver McMillan here. We have Langford, Portman, and Phelps in here. We have the New School of Architecture and Design, and many other people here who have been collaborating and creating a vision to transform 35 city blocks in an area of downtown that is blighted, but is an infill property, which is kind of similar to what you had. It was at one point an industrial area, just like Barcelona was, the 22 Barcelona area. And now we want to transform it, we want to reinvent it into a place where creative people can live, work, and play. And to us, the people that we want to attract and the corporations we want to attract are the people who populate the space between design and technology and business. And the same thing as Josep said, is we believe that that is where the success is going to be. And exhibit A of that argument is any Apple product and Apple Corporation. But what we have today in San Diego doesn't quite, we believe, attract that cohort. San Diego has a lot of wonderful things. San Diego is a 20th century city. It was developed for the car. We're very successful in a suburban environment, but we're missing a piece, and it's not a zero-sum game. Doesn't mean that we have to eliminate the suburban campuses and build everything downtown. It's about diversifying our portfolio of offerings. And we believe that as what's missing today in San Diego is an urban environment that provides that 24/7 lifestyle experiences that is highly preferred by this very talented cohort. And San Francisco is a perfect example of providing that. One of the things that I don't think it was completely said is that the rents and the occupancy in South of Market in San Francisco for kind of not that great buildings is higher than the wonderful Class A towers in the financial district. And why is that? Because it's cool. It's where the hipsters want to be. And the companies have gotten smart. So instead of busing people 30 miles to San Jose, now they're moving headquarters, not headquarters, but they're moving facilities to be where the talent is. But if you look at San Diego, we have a lot of wonderful things, but we don't have that urban place to provide those experiences. So the idea of the Idea District is to take these 35 city blocks and convert it into a mixed-use place where we can actually provide that. So we also have a reverse commute here in downtown San Diego. Ironically, we decided to reinvent San Diego about 20, 30 years ago. We were very successful in bringing housing, but not jobs. So now people, the hipsters, and I say that with great respect, they, you know, I'm actually a boomer. No, I'm actually a hipster trapped in the boomer's body. So I stole that from somebody, right? From a city council person of all people, I stole that too. So we believe that it's doable. The bones are there. We have institutions. We have City College. We have the New School of Architecture and Design. We have Thomas Jefferson School of Law. We have FITM. We have housing. And we have entitlements. The redevelopment agency, Jeff Graham is here, has done a fantastic job before they disappeared. Well, they were reinventing themselves, like everybody's reinventing themselves, and entitling these 35 city blocks with all the things that are needed to build at a FAR of about 6 to 10. So we can provide the different uses and the density to really create something that will compete with 22 of Barcelona. And believe me, if we don't do this, if we don't compete against Barcelona, Seoul, Korea, London, New York, we will not have the prosperity that we all aspire to. So David and I are in the business of transforming. We don't believe in development anymore. We believe in transforming. And the goal of that transformation is prosperity for all. Thank you.
I have a few questions that I'm going to lead off with, but I quickly want to allow people to pose their questions. Josep, you just mentioned that you now have embraced art and artists as one of the components. But I remember from our conversation 2 years ago that you felt this was one of the shortcomings in the original conceptualization of 22 at. So talk about how did you discover that that was a missing piece, and what are you doing to make up for lost time?
First, because we failed, because we were doing it. At the beginning, we were not involving enough the creative class. When I say creative class, the artist movement and so on. And we have some experience from incredible experience that we inviting artists in order to do internships inside companies. It means that they are promoting the disruptive innovation. They are really a very high stimulation for the traditional companies. The science technology industry value chain is a Cartesian. It's an approach that you can predict. The interesting thing about the artists when they are in interaction with the companies is that they can do disruptive innovation. They can do in another way because you are using another ways to do innovation. The decision of the city was to create what we say cultural factories. We are developing some specialization of these cultural factories in media and several artist movement. And this is something that we were doing bad at the origin, but we were doing bad because we didn't know a lot about that. And now we are focusing and working on that.
Yeah, let me take it. IDEA stands for Innovation, Design, Education, and Arts. And innovation is the outcome, is the final product. Design to us is applied art, just like technology is applied science. So in design, we really use the design of technology and the design of many things, from animation to enhance reality, to architecture, to art itself. So the E is for education, because we believe that you have to have a pipeline. We call it pre-K to J, and that's a pipeline. We need to address, we talked about education. What we don't want is when the hipster's kid turns 5, they actually run to the suburbs. We cannot have that, because in order to have a true healthy ecology, you have to have people of all ages. So the E is very important, not just at the higher education, but starting at the pre-K all the way to jobs. And really what's pre-K to J is because part of our platform is to have a way that practicing professionals work with faculty and work with students in apprenticeship programs, so that you actually are preparing the students and the faculty to actually introduce people right into the workforce.
So I have a question for you, Pete.
Let me finish the art.
Okay.
And the art is because art embellishes and enriches the experience. So we have to have not only public art, but we have to have artists, not just the designers who are practitioners of art, but artists, fine artists themselves, in order to create that cultural richness that art provides the community.
So I have a question for you. There's a question that's been posed to me for the last couple of days, which is, wow, this is a fabulous idea. How are you going to get this done?
Gee, that's a hard one. Well, no, it's really simple. For you who are real estate developers, it's all about getting tenants. Because tenants, once a month, write you a check. And with that check, you take most of it and you give it to the bank. So when the bank knows that you're going to be able to service the debt, they'll lend you the money. And especially if you have tenants who have credit. So our marketing strategy to bring velocity to this whole thing is to identify corporations who have financial capability that actually have name recognition, so people go, oh, XYZ went to the IDEA district, I got to be there. So it's really all about convincing companies that it is in their best interest to locate at the Idea District, because they're going to be able to attract and retain the talent that brings them corporate prosperity. So that's the strategy.
There's one other initiative that we're working on right now, which is called Liberating the Park. We believe it's equally important in the near term to activate what is right now unactivated, dead public space as a way of demonstrating that this district can be a creative laboratory for all kinds of innovative ideas. And we're working right now with Jeff Graham and some other people to try to ensure that there's an opportunity for East Village Association to take control of that space, which right now is just fenced in and is not adding any value to the community. And we can immediately begin to start to create programming that can demonstrate the creative capacity of the community.
Well, it's reinventing models. The redevelopment agency is not as capable as they were before. Is that a polite way to say it, Jeff? So anyway, we cannot wait 2-3 years for somebody to build the park over parking, which creates the landscape area for an urban environment. So we are convincing the mayor and the city council to actually let us liberate the park. Let's tear down the chain link fence, and for $1, give the bid, the East Village Association, a 2-year lease, and we will take on the liability and the responsibility to actually activate the park at a very grassroots, very edgy way. And by doing that, we actually then change the perception of the area by creating all kinds of festivities and daily activities that people go, hey, that place is pretty cool. There used to be a bunch of homeless people, and now there's a lot of activity and a lot of very interesting things to do. So we can't just be victims to what's going on. We have to actually take whatever we have and do the best we can in an innovative, creative way.
So talking about challenges, I have a question for you, Josep. Spain is much in the news lately. Not in a way that you would like, I'm sure. Yeah. But it must certainly impact the way you think about 22 and what are the issues that you find yourself grappling with now, given the economic challenges of Europe broadly and Spain specifically?
Okay. Thank you for the question. First, let me tell you that, one, I am talking about the cities. This century is not about states or nations, it's about cities. I cannot wait for Merkel if she decides to buy euros or not. I cannot wait. I can work every day in one direction, thinking in a goal. I was not calling to Rajoy to tell him that I am here. Why? Because I can do what I want. That's the key. The cities can do what they want. They don't need to wait. And the situation of Europe now is a macroeconomic situation. And this is a tension between Germany, that they want to create German Europe, or it means that they want to control the euro. And imagine that you cannot control the dollar. You cannot put dollars, you cannot put cash in the economy. That's a tension between Spain and Germany. But I don't mind. What I mind, I can work every day in my city, I can work every day in my district. The resilience of the district is incredible. The companies are exporting and exporting more and more. Why? Because they have innovation in one hand, and they were exporting, they were doing internationalization. That's the key. The resilience also means the capability of a city to work in the world. And I love Europe, but I have to work deep in Barcelona to be sure that I am connected with you. Now with Rio de Janeiro is also developing a new district of innovation, developing the concept of 22 watt, also in this concept of the post-Olympic area. We have several connections with the world, and the good thing is it's all about talent. Talent about citizens, and what we have to be sure is that our city is a global platform for global citizens.
I was very struck when we met the extent to which you had forged a really strong partnership between government, between business, and between education. And you know, we've talked about the challenges facing government here. So I want to ask Pete, what are the new kinds of arrangements, collaborations that we are going to have to invent in order to make Idea District a reality?
we believe that it's not only the built environment, it's the built environment, the social environment, and the virtual environment, because that's really the world that we live in. One of the things that we've done is that we created something that's called the Idea Collaborative. And we have San Diego State University Art College, San Diego State University Engineering College. We have the New School of Architecture and Design. We have USD School of Real Estate. We have City College. We have Thomas Jefferson School of Law, and we have the San Diego Foundation. We have a signed MOU. We have been working since the first of the year. It is basically a civic engagement collaborative, a platform that brings all these universities to actually work together in a multi-institutional, multidisciplinary approach of solving very difficult problems that we used to just pay taxes and let the government work on it. And that didn't work out that well. So all these institutions have come together to, and the first initiative, by the way, the first initiative that we're working on, and is how do we design, finance, and build this park over parking, okay? Because we can't rely on anybody to do that for a while. So we're taking it on ourselves to do that. The other thing, it is a fantastic, don't forget an idea, the E is for education. It is a fantastic educational platform to bring faculty, students, and practicing professionals to work together in a way that each institution brings their own strength, but they work together in a multi-fashion way together to bring a very rich experience and drive innovation. I tell you that innovation is the outcome. And we insist, like everything that we do has to be innovative. We can't say, oh, we're the Idea District, and then we deliver the same old fish in a new newspaper. Everything that we do has to be new and interesting, and it's got to have value for many people. So we think that these are the new models that everybody needs to think of and play off your strengths. You know, the universities are incredible institutions of talent. They want to be involved. They need to be involved. And we need to engage them.
We have about 5 minutes. Let's open it up to questions from the audience.
Well, since that is a major homeless area, just what are you planning to do with all those people?
It is a major homeless area, I don't want to try to give a glib answer. I do want to say that we see ourselves working closely and in partnership with some of the other entities who have been working on this problem diligently, which includes the former CCDC. Jeff has probably got as much expertise, Jeff Graham, as much expertise as anybody in the room. I do think this is an instance where we can import models that have been successful in other places. For example, in the Wynwood District and in Times Square, they have employed former homeless to be part of the bid, to be part of the Clean and Safe program. And specifically in Wynwood, it's called Women of Wynwood, so they've used that as an opportunity for employment. We are woefully short of supportive housing. We need to create better models for creating cost-effective, sustainable, supportive housing. I know, again, this is an initiative that Jeff is passionate about. And we can't pretend that by creating development and moving the problem somewhere else that that's a solution. It's not a solution. So this is a part of being holistic. It's part of understanding we have a set of conditions that we have to be responsible about, and thinking about all the various ways that as a urban laboratory we can try to promote new ideas.
And by the way, it will never completely go away. The downtowns are gritty and messy. If you don't like that, go to the suburbs, and there's grassy and leafy and it's really nice. But that's part of the texture. That's part of the fabric that we have. It is a problem. We're addressing it, and there's many interesting, very human way of approaching those things.
Okay. Pete and David, great idea. I love what you're trying to do. A lot of opportunity there. And I can't help but see everything as a communications issue. And so 2 questions I have for you, given your presentation right now. One is, what is really the unique proposition that you're bringing forward for San Diego? And maybe it's a chance to reflect on what you really think people see or think of when they hear San Diego. Because I think there's a bit of a stretch there.
Well, I would say that San Diego is a victim of its own success. We heard about boosterism. We're really good at that. We're really good about bragging about the things that are great, like the weather and so forth and so on. We're not very good at addressing the deficiencies that we have. We have a deficient urban experience environment. I think our downtown doesn't provide the lifestyle experience that this talent cohort is seeking for. And that's really what we're addressing. We're addressing that. It's a deficiency, as something that we need to address, or we're not going to be a global player.
And I'll put it maybe slightly differently. I think the proposition is that we believe that given the context, the real estate that we have, the institutions that are in place, the qualities of the environment, we have a unique opportunity to create an urban cluster that is driven by jobs at the intersection of design and technology, that becomes the engine that helps to drive this district, which has a very strong education component, a very strong arts component, and can be innovative in many ways.
And let me add to this, time is of the essence, because we don't own the land, we own the idea, and it can be squandered, because a lot of developers are looking for land to do apartments. And unfortunately, once those apartments are built, that's it. So we missed the opportunity to take the last piece of downtown that has been entitled for high density, for mixed use, to create many, many clean, high-paying jobs and make us a world-class city and squander into more housing.
I think we have time for one last. Is there one last question? Not seeing any hands go up. Thank you very much.